Yes, now I am.
All right. So on the same subject as the ford in the river, I talked to Lindstrom today, and he said that he does indeed own that property where the ford is, and he will not allow a gate to be put there.
Okay. That solves that.
Who owns the other side?
Anissa Morrison.
So she could put a gate on her side. Or is
Yeah.
there a, I mean, the town has a right of way and perpetuity there?
According to Brent, the language is more or less that the town equipment has a right of way across the properties, both his now and it used to be all one property anyway, but it got split up years ago. So,
But if the chair of the select board wanted to make a shortcut after dropping off his trash at the transfer center station to go home up Monarch Hill, he could not go across there.
not legally, no.
Not legally. He's done illegal things. Huh, just town equipment, interesting.
Anyway, is that all
Are
we need?
well, I
Go
guess
ahead.
if Anissa joins us, we can talk more about this.
Sure. So let's delay until later on in the meeting. I spoke with Rodney this morning, and I wrote things down on a piece of paper in the milk house, and then I've forgotten it. So I'm home now, and I don't have my cheat sheet. So what I remember is that they're not grading much for roads now because the roads are very, very dry, and they can't dig very deep, and the material just turns to powder, and it doesn't set up well. So they're going to wait till it rains. He said all the equipment is running fine, and Larry is taking a few days off, using up some of his vacation before he loses it. Those are the highlights.
I gotta ask Rodney about this. I was going to call him today, but I didn't get to it. We talked last fall or summer about getting signs for the class 4 roads saying that they were class 4 roads or something. And
Yeah.
never seen them. And of course, last month we've been swamped with traffic up here, going up the class 4 road and getting stuck and all that stuff. So we got to remember to ask Rodney about that. I'll try to call him, but
I'll write it down just in case you forget.
I remember him saying that they were likely just going to get stolen pretty quickly.
well, I have a concerned citizen that's
Mhm.
up my butt about it. So
Were they gonna say different things, Mike, too, depending on, like the one up by you was pretty much gonna say, don't go any further, but were some just gonna be more neutral and just say class 4 not maintained or something like that?
I think they all ought to be the same and just say, this road turns into a class 4 road. It's not maintained and proceed at your own risk or something. I mean, there's a lot of people just riding around that
Right.
just don't know. And then of course there's the Jeep guys that are going to go up it anyways. But last Saturday, I guess it was, my wife was up working in the garden and she said there was 3-4 cars that backed down the road, turned around, because they were just cruising up through.
Huh.
But it's not a big.
We might want to put something about if GPS has led you here, turn around, because that's what's happening with a lot of these.
I think that's what's happening is when we had my father's auction, a guy from Massachusetts come in from Smalls Way, Timmy's Way, with a friggin' 30-foot trailer and a 1-ton truck and was going to come down over the hill, but he finally got scared enough, so he backed out of there. But before he got too far along. But he said he was following his GPS.
Right.
I wonder if there's some sort of like authority on GPS. Like if we could get Google to change those stretches of road from, like, I actually remember I tried to do it on a crossroad. You can go to Google and like request that they make a change to a certain road. And I don't think they actually ever officially changed it. But anyways, I'm just wondering if this is like a bigger picture problem.
I think I've heard that you can get a change made, but it's not that easy. You know, I mean, you gotta contact the right people.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Anissa.
Hello.
Hello.
I was tasked with not reminding you, but just Rodney wanted me to clarify. I talked to Gary about this morning. The hook bid that you voted for last week to do the Dickerman Hill job, he just wanted to clarify that the price will not change too much. He doesn't believe. Well, it's not going to change, short of a few $100 maybe here and there. But the town trucks will not be doing the trucking. They're planning on hiring someone else to do the trucking. He just wanted that clarified.
Why is it not going to make any difference on money?
I think because that's there is no change in what happened was, I think somebody read the minutes. I misinterpreted how the bid was shaking out. And I wrote in the minutes that the town would be responsible for the gravel, which we are, but I also thought that meant we are responsible for trucking it. So somebody saw that in the minutes. Is somebody talking? No, okay.
Who's West Lebanon's iPhone?
I don't know.
That's Kathy Galuzzo, actually Matt Galuzzo.
Great.
Want to talk here?
So I'm going to so here's Matt.
Okay.
Well, hello there. Hello.
So what was I just saying? What did I just say?
You were explaining the bid on the Dickerman Hill project.
If you can explain this better, Gary, would you be able to?
I'll try.
Gary?
Yes.
Can we have Kathy or Matt somehow mute themselves?
Oh, I'll mute them. Here, I'll just mute them.
There we go.
Okay.
You
Sorry.
have the power.
I always forget I can do that.
Anyway, as I remember it, there was $2,000 of the hook bid was put toward the transportation or hauling of the material.
Yes.
And so I guess maybe somebody assumed that the town was going to actually truck the material, but it was that the town was going to actually pay that portion of the bid. And I forget, I don't have the paper in front of me, but it was what, $5,600 or $9,600 or something for material or something like that.
Yeah.
It's in
240 yards at 30.
At 13.
13, yeah, 13 a yard. But I can do the math if you want, but that's how much stone it is. And then the trucking is supposed to be about $2,000.
Yeah.
But that was included in the bid.
Yeah, it was nothing's changing. I'm just clarifying that the town trucks are not doing the trucking. We're hiring somebody, and that was included in the bid to do the trucking.
Okay. I think
good news for us.
So what happened with the grader while we're still on roads? Did Rodney make the call?
Yes. And Gary came in and signed the purchase order and the warranty paperwork, and that was sent off to them. So it's ordered.
I guess we know who pays for it if the town reneges.
Well, they sent it to me and they said, just have someone from the town sign it. And I said, I I don't want to be the one to sign this.
Jerry met them with a suitcase full of $100 bills.
Right.
Yeah. I counted and I had $272,000. And so I thought, what the heck? That's all I know about what Rodney's doing on the roads. So I think things are going fairly well.
Yeah.
You've been down on my side of Monarch. Did they get the ditches all done?
Mhm.
Yep. Yep, they're all done and moved away.
Good.
And Rodney said that we'll get that submitted as quickly as we can, and then hopefully maybe this fiscal year we'll get paid for it too,
Okay.
the grant part of it.
Mhm.
Any other things about road issues from anyone? All right, what's next?
I tentatively put the listers on because Rudy mentioned it last meeting that he might want to join. They don't need to join the meeting, but they would. I don't know if you remember last meeting, he mentioned the paperwork that the state is allowing towns to oh my gosh, this heat. Apply for an extension to lodge the grand list.
Right.
They think that they're going to be pretty much on time. They might be a couple weeks later than the statutory deadline, but they would like that paperwork to be signed by you, just so they have the freedom to go over the deadline if they need to. So tomorrow morning, I'll stick it. I'm not sure. I actually haven't seen it, so I don't know if it requires all 3 of your signatures or just the chair. But if you could all keep a really close eye on your email, tomorrow morning I'll get the piece of paper and put it out where we leave things for you guys to sign in the treasurer's office, and email you all and let you know who needs to come sign it. And I think they want that signed like as soon as possible. So tomorrow would be great.
I have it as an action item.
Okay.
What next? Whoops.
How'd we come out on plexiglass doors for the town office?
I met with Mike Howe last week and described what we want. He's got a really good idea of what we want, and I gave him the invoice. No, not the invoice, the quote that Brenda got us from the place in Lebanon for the glass, and I said we want the tempered glass. He told me he was probably going to try to start working on it last week, but it doesn't look like he has. So I imagine that's because he's waiting for the glass or something. So he didn't really have a good estimate of when it would be done because it's kind of dependent on the glass. And I haven't heard an update from him yet. And he's also planning on building little shutters on the office sides to be able to close the window and lock it.
Well, you probably didn't understand what I meant, but I thought those doors swing into the hall. So I
Yeah.
thought if you set everything back, on the back side of the casing, you could actually shut those doors at night.
We thought about that, and I mentioned that to Mike, but I guess that could be possible on mine, but Becky's door opens, there's that staircase right there as you walk into the town office.
Yeah.
And her door would hit that staircase and just be really awkward. So,
Okay.
And we were thinking, I probably shouldn't say this in a public meeting that's going to be on the website, but if somebody really wanted to break into our offices, I don't think they would try to go through those windows. I think they could figure out an easier way. So,
Okay, I just thought it would be an easy way to lock the office up,
Yeah.
using the existing doors, but
Yeah, it would be easy, but yeah. So that's all that was on the agenda, other than the normal signing of things and other business. And we've got Anissa here, obviously, and then I think Matt Galuzzo. Matt, if you can hear me, I've muted you just because we were hearing some background noise, but feel free to unmute yourself and start talking if you want, or whoever.
Let's go with Anissa first because she's been waiting the longest.
The wonderful thing about Zoom meetings is I can do lots of other stuff, as you know.
Are you cooking hush puppies this week?
Nope, it's too hot to cook. What do you mean? It's a salad night. Anyhow, I am stopping by and give Kathy a little preview. I plan on attending the school board meeting tomorrow night because I have overall concerns about our economy and where we are headed as a state, possibly as a town. I work in the Hanover School District, and because it is anticipated that significant numbers of taxpayers could be delayed on paying property taxes, we could have more delinquent taxes than would be typical. We've really done cash flows through December to figure out how, as a district, and how the towns of Hanover and Norwich can get themselves control things to not have to borrow tremendous amounts of money. So I'm just really cognizant of spending and hoping as a select board, and I'll say the same thing tomorrow night to the school board, that they are really, really cognizant of spending. I think that we could see really high rates of unpaid property taxes as things continue with unemployment. I think that we can only do stimulus so far. So that's just my overall concern. I don't know if you've talked about it at all as a board, things that you may be considering. I know there's certainly an approved budget, but I didn't know if you'd considered things that could possibly protect us as a community if there are significant revenue shortfalls, either from taxes being delinquent or other sources of revenue.
We haven't talked as a board. I think we've talked about it briefly, informally, and it's a real concern I have. Is the same as what you have. Is we could be in a kind of a pickle next fall, and a lot of people could be. And haven't done it yet, but maybe Jillian could contact a League of Cities and Towns. And I hate to reinvent the wheel, so maybe someone out there has already thought of some solutions that we could enact as well. But I'm willing to listen to anybody.
I don't have a magic solution.
Three-quarters of our tax money goes to the state of Vermont. So what we do, I'm not saying that we should go crazy, but what we do is going to be pretty small potatoes compared to the rest of the money.
I've heard that I'm sure John is aware of this as well, that there's revenue shortfall potentially for the education tax fund of $150 million. I know that I forgot what the percentage of increase is, but I know that has a potential. I know that I would see $1,000 increase on my taxes on top of what we approved at town meeting, because of if the state is not able to squeeze that gap from the $150 million education fund shortfall. And I know that's not town, but I know as for members of our community, it impacts all taxpayers.
Yeah, well, I don't know what else. Go ahead, John.
No, I just wondering, as a board, the grader may have been a good example, but were there expenditures coming up in the next fiscal year that potentially we could delay it, if we needed to use a large chunk of money for, just paying the bills?
Oh, I think, I don't know why we couldn't cut 10% across the board, probably, and be okay. Because most times you can cut 10% and it doesn't hurt too badly.
Right.
And maybe higher rates some other places.
Yeah.
Have to sit down and look at the budget again.
Yeah, and just what's happening with budgets all over, that the governor was proposing to sort of start again on all school budgets. And when you think, I mean, neither scenario is really very sunny. When you either passed a budget that might not work because there's not enough, money to go around to make it up, or come up with a new budget that somehow reflects all the uncertainty going forward. I mean, does anybody know whether, Anissa, have you heard about whether you'll be in school starting in September? Or
No, our
August?
Dresden board, last time we met actually asked, no, it was just a budget committee, asked us to put together 3 budgets. We have our current one. What would it look like if we were 100% remote? And what would it look like if we were hybrid, where kids could only be in classrooms of 10?
Wow, interesting.
So you had to hire more staff, you had to hire more buses, all those things.
Mhm.
So it's, in that model, could be cost prohibitive for any community. Really requires educators to think creatively, just as you all are as select board.
Right. If you needed 4 restaurants, because you can only have 25% occupancy, just to get to 100%.
Right.
So I just wanted to generally bring that up. I know there's no magic solution. I know it's just something that I'm thinking about and nervous about where people are going to end up.
Gary, I can check in with VLCT about if they're making suggestions, or it also seems like it would be really great to get Becky's input too. She just knows everything, all the budget inside and out much better than any of us. So
When's the last time we borrowed a lot of money? I mean, what if we had to borrow $250,000? How does that work?
What was it, 3 or 4 years ago, we borrowed almost 100,000 because we had that deficit tax. But that was the last time I can remember.
But we have a line of credit that we could do that.
I'm not sure if we still have that or not, but we had a line of credit at the time, and it wasn't super hard. Anne Fragnella set it up with Mascoma Bank, and it just, at the time, it wasn't hard to do. And it was one of those things, you only paid interest on what you actually used. And so I think the line of credit might have been 300,000 or something for some reason. And we only used 98 or something like that. So, and then we only paid interest on the length of time that we actually used the money and before we paid it back. So it didn't really cost us that much.
So I think that's a good idea. We should get Becky in next meeting maybe and ask her some of these contingencies.
Yep.
So that's a good thing to point out, Anissa.
I'll invite her.
And I would like to also, if we come to some conclusion about this, to get it done sooner than later, instead of waiting until October to say something. I'd like to, if we come to something that we think we're going to do, to maybe do it in June or July so people can be aware of it. We can advertise it as much as possible. I mean, I'd like to just see people pay what they can on November 1st and then set up some sort of payment system or something. Maybe we could forgive the 8% penalty or something to help people out. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer. Anyway, we'll keep plugging away at it.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
And also how, anytime something's changed, like say we move the deadline to December 1st, I assume we'd have to have a special town meeting for something like that, or does that even require sort of a state waiving some sort of recommendation or guideline or law?
I think it would be a special town meeting because that's something that's on the warning of town meeting.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Which would be really difficult if we all are still supposed to stay away from each other.
Yeah, but we could vote
We could do
paper
Australian
vote,
ballot.
right? You could send out everybody a ballot or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
We still don't have a school budget, so we're gonna have to figure that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just talking to the Secretary of State, and yeah, even the August primary is still up in the air, I think, as far as how they run that.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
But Anissa, do you have any more to add about the river situation? Because I'm going to talk with Rob Evans from the EEC next week. So just exploratory. So let me know if you have any questions. Lori is muted.
Hello, things are getting goofy this week. Anissa, did you hear John's question?
I did hear his question that he was talking to someone, but I didn't hear another question after that.
Can you go ahead again, John?
John's muted.
No, I was just saying, Rob Evans from the Agency of Natural Resources,
I'll be right
Department
back.
of Environmental Conservation. They talked about both the river gravel history of it and situation, just statewide, and then also for the Richard Barnaby's Spring Road concerns too.
Oh.
So, because we just hopefully to open a line of communication, because we've certainly had a difficult time getting answers from DEC. The chairs left.
Probably ran up the barn to get his notes.
It's one of those things about a meeting at home. Sometimes during the school day, I'm working from here and I have meetings and my dad stops by. It's like, well, I'm really at work.
Right. It's fine.
I'm back.
That was intermission.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Like
later.
it's like one of those 1950s musicals where it's intermission.
Anyway, where are we now?
I think we're at the rec field now.
Okay. Do you want to invite Matt to come in to our conversation?
Okay.
Hello, Matt. Are you there?
Hey, am I here?
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Want me to tell you what I need?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right, so we got a bunch of things going on. I guess the mower, we'll go by, what's the media? The mower is supposed to be serviced next week by Trotter and Sons. Is that okay? Because Kevin used to do all the servicing, but, you know, he can't do it no more, obviously. And we're thinking about getting a bagger for it. I don't know if that's something that's like $100. Would that be okay? Or do you,
Say the dollar amount again.
it's like $700 just for the bagger. For the mower.
I guess it's okay. What do you think, John and Mike?
What are we getting?
A bagger for the mower.
The bagger for the mower. It'll
Yeah,
just
that
be
could-
easier so I won't blow grass into the pool and I won't grow black grass into the infield. Because that's coming down. I got another thing I need. I need to order some infield, and that's later down on my list. But it would just be handy to have it, like especially in springtime where I don't have to rake up all the leaves. I can just suck them up and throw them over the bank. And plus, well, I don't think we're going to mow as much this year if it's hot. So when I do cut grass for games, I don't have to worry about it piling up on the field and looking bad, I guess. So that's on the mower. But you can email Kathy. You guys can decide on that.
What do you
Okay.
think, Mike?
Yeah, if they need it, I guess. You got plenty, right?
Or maybe we could look for maybe we could put that in. I guess we could. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Either way. You guys can email Kathy on that one if you want. If you decide not to, or you want to, or whatever.
What do you got
But
for
I
a
decided
mower?
to throw that out there.
What do you
Okay.
got for a mower?
425Z 0 turn.
What brand?
John Deere.
Oh, okay.
International.
Unless you're gonna hook us up.
No, probably not.
Okay.
Do you
now,
want,
the only
do
other
you want to make a motion then? Should we just make a motion to,
Yeah.
I move that we approve the rec department buying a bagger for their John Deere no-turn mower. Up to $800.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, you got it.
Aye.
All right, more for you. Another thing I found out is that the weed whacker is missing, and so is the gas. And I don't know if Kevin took that, but it's gonna be hard to prove that whose is what and what is whose of them. So I don't know what you want to do about that.
How often do you use a weed whip? Do you?
Just around the pool, around the fence, around the backstop and stuff. I mean, I think cause I went over there yesterday and got their lawn running actually. And I saw, they're sure it's in this garage, and I think they'll give it back to us. But, you know what I mean? I think Shannon and Dick will give it back to us.
Yeah,
So
see if
it's
you
like-
will.
Okay. The gas can, I have no idea where the gas can went, but I can use my own. But, all right, I'll just try to get that back from them.
Who
What
has,
else we got here? So,
I'm sorry,
Huh?
who has the weed whacker right now?
well, see, Kevin always fixed them and serviced them, so he always took it. And then he passed away, especially during the winter, because we're afraid people would break in and steal it. So he
Oh,
took it over
okay.
the winter too. And then he passed away, and then it's like, well, how do we get the weed whacker back? I mean, I know what it is. I know it's a steel, but I couldn't say if it's this steel or the other steel weed whacker. You know what I mean? So that's the problem there. But
Gotcha.
I'm sure. But I was over there yesterday helping with the cameras and getting his zero going. Well, Dick, you know, but anyway, so I'm pretty sure I saw it in the garage. So I'm probably gonna ask him for it back. But if they say no, I don't know what to do. I'm pretty sure Shannon and Jeff will give it back.
Okay, well, we'll see if they will.
All right.
So what, the rec department owns the mower and the weed whacker?
Yeah. We have the mower, but the weed whacker Kevin kept because he was afraid someone would kill it during the winter. So, I don't know. Like I said, we never took no serial numbers down on it or anything, so unless Welch just has it. But I don't know. I'll ask him for it back. I'm pretty sure they'll give it back to me.
Okay, what else do you have?
Okay. All right, infield dirt. I called about infield dirt because it seemed to all wash away or blow away because it's a clay sand mixture. And it comes out to $13 and like 75 cents a yard. I mean, a ton, which comes out to about 1.5 yards. Matt Loftus came down. He said we need between 46 and 50 yards to fill it back in. That's how much blew away and walked away. So that comes out to about $750, $800, something like there. That's not counting the trucking though, because it's got to come from Hookset. So we need to get some of that. Like that'd be my next motion. Or can we have money on the infield dirt?
Well, how much do you think it's going to cost to truck it up from Hookstead?
Ooh, I don't know. But we got it. We got it. Ben could check to see who we got it from before. And that would be about what we need. I've been trying, I emailed her. I mean, I messaged her today, but she didn't answer back. But I probably got to give her more than 2 hours notice to do it. So I'll probably get back with her and see who we got it from before. But I'm pretty sure that came from Hookset too.
Well, why don't you figure this out and get a good solid figure on how much it's gonna cost us total, or cost you total, and then next meeting, we can approve it.
Okay, I'll do that. Anything else? Let's see. The dugout. So we're gonna take the dugouts out also and put in new dugouts because the roofs are pretty well shot and the floors are shot, and so I got an estimate from Hank Clark to pull them and pour 2 slabs at $1,276. That's counting him doing all the grade work, even though we're not supposed to change the grade, but he can clean it up.
Yeah.
And we estimated about $800 per dugout, so it comes out to like 23. Be 21, about 29. Call it $3,000 max on the dugouts, on both dugouts.
And who's gonna build the dugouts once you get Hank to do all his magical work?
Well, he's going to put brackets in cement, so it'll be a lot easier than what we did behind the dugout. So it'll probably be like me, Dave Smart, and every guy I know plays softball is a carpenter or a roofer around here. So you can't throw a rock without one on a roofer or a carpenter. We'll probably do that on volunteer basis.
Okay,
And that's about that. So I think, yeah, so we figured about $3,000, and that's I think is a high estimate. So up to $3,000. That's counting the post, it's all going to be pressure treated. And then obviously the seating and the benches will be that Trex decking again. So if you want to see what they kind of look like, they're going to kind of look like the one behind the backstop, but not as long. And we actually have some of the roofing left over up in the pool shed, for probably almost the whole one for the tin. So
Okay,
like I
Mike,
said, that's about.
you wanna make a motion, Mike?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we spend not more than $3,000 to build 2 dugouts at the rec field.
Hold up your hand if you second it, John. There you go. All right. John
I
second.
second it.
All right, we hear it too. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye. What's the schedule, Matt, on this?
Well, if I can nail Hank Clark down, we were supposed to pull him out Saturday. At least get him out of the way and do something, but getting hold of Hank Clark and nailing him down, doing something, it's pretty hard. But we want to do it before, if the girls and the guys start, the men's leagues and the women's leagues. So we want to have it done by June 15th.
Okay, well,
I think that's when the league.
that brings up another concern that I have is that if the governor says that we can only have like either 10 or 25 people at any one gathering, I think you need to not play softball, just because I don't know how you can do it with less than 25 people. And so until the governor says yes, then you need to not congregate at the ball field.
Right, that'll be up to the governor and who's in charge of the emergency thing there.
Yeah.
So we'll probably wait for the go ahead from you guys. We obviously have to wait for you guys.
Yeah.
To give us a go ahead. We'd ask you guys first before we went ahead and said, yeah, go ahead. But if they do, it's looking pretty good because every school has already pretty much said they're not going to allow softball on their field. So that should bring more revenue into the town, because only Chelsea and Tunbridge so far haven't been no, from what I hear. So a lot of leagues have already canceled, and a lot of these teams play on school property, so the schools are cutting them out. So the governor comes through and says, hey, you can do it, and you guys say it's all right. We have potential to make more money this year, the field dues.
Okay, well, you just have to abide by what the governor says, and we'll carry on from there.
All right.
So, Matt, how do we make money then on just the leagues? Just because every game played there, you'd make a certain amount?
No, we usually charge them a
I
set
understand
amount.
on
I think
tournaments.
it's 100. Yeah, 150. I think it's 150 to play there, but we're thinking about moving that a little bit up. So that's a little low on the average. And then if they don't pay by a certain date, then it goes up to like 300 or something. So you got to pay ahead before they play. Otherwise, they pay more. But it might be 150, 200. So there's 4 teams that play there now, so we get like $600 anyway a year. But it could be more.
So like last summer,
And then usually they'll help.
how much did we make on the softball leagues last summer? Not with the tournaments, but just the regular leagues.
Should have been 600 because there's 4
Okay.
teams that play there. But what I'm saying is, if these other schools don't let them play, these guys got to play somewhere, and these ladies got to play somewhere. And this year, there's 7 men's teams, I believe, and 12 ladies teams.
And you have some tournaments set up?
We haven't. We usually they're scheduled. You know, like the white tournaments in July. I think Kevin's tournament was going to be the first one, but of course that got pushed back because of this. And there's the Jen Canarney tournament, Special Olympic tournament at the end of the year. So there's like 4 or 5 tournaments we have. But right now they've all been put on hold because you're talking 200 to 300 people at these things, you know?
Right.
Okay, anything else?
As far as we
Or did we,
know,
look at them.
as far as we know, no other besides softball, like Babe Ruth or Summer Little League kind of stuff, that's all been canceled? Anything affiliated with schools?
The only thing I heard is New Hampshire's opening up for practices now. That's all I heard.
Okay.
Okay,
And Matt, one last thing on the dirt was, Matt, if you can hear me, on the infield dirt, is that something more or less every year we have to do, or is it like every 3 years the whole infield blows down to Royalton?
I think the last time we got it was like 3 ago. But I can check that with Becky and tell you. So that was
Okay.
the last thing I was gonna bring up. Hank Clark said he could put drainage in too, so it wouldn't wash away. And he also said we ought to think about a sprinkler system. He says because when that clay and sand gets hot and the wind comes through, it just whips it off your field. So he said you can set a sprinkler system. He said they're not that much. You know, put 2-3 sprinklers in with some pipe. But I can look into that and see what that would cost. So you need a black pipe to run to the sprinklers. We need a pump, pressure pump, and that would probably do it. I don't know how much that would cost, but we can look into that. He said that would help keep the dust down from blowing off your field, because like I said, it's a clay sand mix, and when the wind's whipping, it ends up I don't know where it ends up, but it doesn't in the field no more.
Yeah, get a quote.
All right. And that's about all I have except for some fence and stuff, but I guess that's enough for now for you guys to look at.
Okay, well, thank you very much for attending, and get back to us, and we'll discuss some more next time.
So does that mean we're all set with the dugout part though? Because that's what we're working on now.
Yeah, Mike made the motion,
Okay.
and asked it that you can spend up to $3,000.
Okay, that should well do us. And then I'll get back to you on the infield dirt, the sprinkler quote, and I got some fencing we want to put up, which is good because we have all the posts for the fencing for some reason, but we don't have the fence. I don't know why, but maybe it's posts from the old backstop or something, but we're good there. I might have to buy a couple of doors from Springfield Fence for the new dugouts because they got a fence supposed to be closed off or something for safety or something, they were saying. You know what I mean? You can't open between the backstop and your dugout fence. It's supposed to be a gate there. You know what I mean?
No.
All right. Well, you don't want to be able to launch a ball into the dugout is what you're saying.
Okay.
So, but I can ask you guys that later when we get to that point. But thank you very much for listening to me, and have a good night.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Matt.
You too.
All right.
What you got in that big mug, Anissa?
Tea, I'm saving the cocktail for later during the school board meeting. Maybe. We'll see how long the school board meeting goes.
All right, Miss Administrative Assistant. What do you have next?
Nothing other than minutes and orders and warrants and any
All
other
right.
business.
I did not see the warrants because they just appeared today.
Mhm.
I don't know if anyone else has.
I looked through them. I didn't see anything that looked out of place, so I guess I'd make a motion to pay the warrants as they're written down.
I second it.
Okay, I'll third it. How about all in favor? Please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Gary has to sign them anyways, so.
Yep. I looked at the minutes, and the only thing I could see, and I written down some whatever you call them now, notes. I can't read.
Is that what we call them now?
That's what I call them, yeah. And there's
Okay.
something about the mowing bids wording didn't seem quite right. It's like the town properties, Eli Childs will mow the town properties for 3 weeks. And it should say it was advertised for 3 weeks. Does that make
Oh.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, just worded kind of funny, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
John could smooth that right out.
And the only other thing I could see was that you mentioned about the town office and the employees that work there.
Mhm.
And you technically aren't employees, you're elected officials, but I mean, how else would you word it? I mean, I know what you're talking about, but
Mhm.
you aren't employees.
I can just say town officials.
Yeah,
Or just say both.
yeah.
Officials
Yeah,
in and.
there
Or
isn't a
those that work there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will figure out a way to reword the mowing bids. That is funny. Because that sounds pretty expensive for just 3 weeks of mowing. Okay.
It looks like Mike's in his rocking chair.
But it looks like his ceiling's about to take off.
I am in my rocking chair.
Why are you rocking your ceiling?
Hoping it will spruce up a little bit.
He's got one of those new houses that the chair stands still and the house moves back and forth.
Exactly.
That's right.
Do you hear about that? What was it? Prime Minister of New Zealand was doing an interview and an earthquake started.
No,
That's West Tunbridge. There's an earthquake.
that's it.
Can I run this by you?
Yeah.
The town advertised a request for bids to mow town properties in the Herald for 3 weeks and on Front Porch Forum. Okay.
I was gonna say, over here in West Tunbridge, we don't have a clay sand mix. We have a clay stone mix over here. They could put on the infield.
Well, I was wondering, is there any other material that could be used that wouldn't blow away so much? I guess.
Stone.
Probably not, because they have to have the clay sand mix. You know, that's the
Oh,
best
like
thing.
it's regulation or whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
What's wrong with grass? When I was in Little League, we played on grass.
Hmm.
With big
With-
tufts of grass that stuck up to make the ball bounce more.
With cow pies for first base.
Nah, that was at home.
Oh,
Home field.
That was the farm system.
Yep.
There was no motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes with the updates.
I second that.
On the table, I think.
All right, I'd like to third it, so all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Any other business?
Was there something from Brenda this week too? She wanted us to potentially wrap up or transfer to a different phase of, I think, the emergency.
Well, yeah, she did speak
Coordination.
on the phone one time, and she wondered whether to actually shut the emergency operations center down
Right.
or not. And I think she decided she was going to, until someone at Two Rivers or somewhere told her to shut it down, she was going to technically keep it open because it really is just her phone is her phone in her living room is the center. So it doesn't cost her anything to be there. So.
Okay.
Sent me an email this afternoon just saying that there's no big changes. We didn't do one of those weekly reports this week just because there's nothing new to say really. And she said she'll come back in and check once in a while with you guys. So I think she's kind of just scaling back her involvement informally.
With
Okay.
the Tunbridge Fair being canceled, does that change anything from municipal Tunbridge's standpoint?
The only thing it changes for me is there's a liquor license that gets issued to the vendors, the beer vendors that they've already applied for. I should actually get in touch with them about whether or not they want to keep it. I assume they don't. But that's the only thing that really touches the town officially.
I'm worried that I won't get my free tickets to the fair this year.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too.
Maybe you'll get double
Well,
next
anytime
year.
you want.
I'll go down in September and just walk around and imagine things.
I was saying to Rodney this morning, I was like, what are we all going to do at the beginning of September? You know, it's a long, even when they're getting ready for the fair, it's just like so exciting. I don't know. It's going to be sad.
Mhm. All right. One thing I was thinking about is do we want to continue with the Zoom meetings that I enjoy so much, or could we possibly at some point go to the town hall and set a distance apart and be safe and be there in person? And when?
I would continue with the Zoom meetings for a while. It just seems like most municipal, school, and other entities seem to be continuing on with Zoom. Have you heard of anybody getting together?
No, I haven't.
I meant to do more research on VLCT about, well, I think I already know the answer, but I guess I was going to try and confirm my answer to the question of if you were going to meet in person, socially distance with a maximum of, I don't know what the maximum is right now that the governor has said. Is it still at 10?
I think so.
So that means that there would have to be a limit on the number of people from the public who could be in there socially distanced, but the meeting would still need to be accessible and interactive with people that were at home. So we'd have to like live stream it and then have a way for people to like chime in from home while there were also people in the town hall. And what I did read tonight though was VLCT has sort of like a running open meeting guidelines PDF that they're updating as things change, and they still recommend that they officially recommend as VLCT that people continue with Zoom or virtual meetings. So, and it seems like it's the easiest way for the public to join the meeting safely.
Okay, well, I guess we'll continue on then.
Yeah.
I do really miss cheese and crackers, and so I have my piece of cheddar cheese here, so. Anything else from anybody?
Yes, I'm all set.
Well, I think with Becky coming in to answer some of the points Anissa made about the future of our budget and the coming financial crunch, we should also probably get some updates, it being June when we meet next, of the last month of the fiscal year, and sort of see where we're at too.
Yep.
Might
Yep.
pay us all to browse through the budget and see if we can pick up anything, we think could be cut.
Yeah, and also we haven't got recently a profit loss from Becky, and maybe that would be a good thing to peruse as well.
Right.
So I or Jillian can contact Becky tomorrow and see if she can get some of those coming our way for as soon as this month ends, early June, we could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody got a good joke we can leave with?
What are our action items? So we have to sign off on these papers, Lister paper.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure it needs all 3 signatures. I sent an email asking Rudy before the meeting, but he hasn't gotten back to me. So
Okay.
I'll be in tomorrow morning in the office, and I'll take a look at it, and then I'll let you know if it's just Gary or everybody. And then if it's everybody, are you able to sign it tomorrow, to come down and sign it tomorrow?
I can.
Okay.
Maybe in the afternoon.
Yeah. Mike, are you able to?
Maybe in the evening.
Okay. Well, as soon as possible, I think, is what they need. So that'll work. But just keep an eye on your email tomorrow.
Gotcha. All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I make a
So
motion.
moved.
Oh, we got 2 of them.
Jillian can't give me a dirty look as well on the Zoom as she can in real life.
You don't know who I'm looking at.
That's true. I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
one more thing. We got a TQ coming up in a little bit, so just start making some notes about what we should put in there.
Oh, John, can you please update my hours in the select board blurb?
Oh my God, we did it like twice now.
I know. It didn't come out the second time we tried to fix it, and I emailed
Janet.
and it was just like, if you can do it on your end, whatever. That'd be great.
Okay.
I get comments. People are mad. The only place they look for my hours is in their TQ. And then they say, well, you weren't here. That's not your phone number, whatever. So.
Well, we should actually do COVID hours. I mean, sort of until further notice.
I don't know
Like we could do regular hours, but as far as, state of emergency goes, these are going to be your hours. We could do both.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. What time is it? Perfect bottle lamb feeding time.
All right.
I'd wait till it cooled off.
They are on a strict 12-hour schedule.
Oh, okay.
All right. I can't think of a good joke, so we might as well just end this thing.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Oh, I have a joke.
Okay. Wait, John.
This came up in ag today. Why does a chicken coop have 2 doors? Because if it had 4, it would be a sedan.
Oh, that's funny.
That's all we do in the
Okay.
legislature.
The old chicken coop joke.
That's good.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Good night.
bye.
Thank you all.